Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by PrizePicks. Use the promo code Leading Off and sign up today at PrizePicks. And of course, joining me as always is the Welsh. And today we got some day games. We got some rookie debuts again. This has been the month of rookie debuts, Welsh. I don't ever remember an April where we've had especially this many pitchers. I mean, sometimes you see the position players, but the pitchers constantly, we're getting all these guys. We've got Brandon Pfaadt on his way too, but today is Bibee Day. So are you excited for this incredible influx of young pitchers we've gotten here in just the first few weeks of the season?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, we're seeing the repercussions of baseball finally incentivizing teams to be like, hey, bring up your best players, even if they're in the minors and they're young. But I will say the pitching caught me off guard a little bit. The amount of pitchers that keep coming up left and right, not wasting those bullets in the minor leagues. And Tanner Bibee is one to definitely be excited about. Mason Miller went last night. Was a little rough. I mean, he got his strikeouts. I did hit the strikeout prop, but he got rocked in the first inning. You saw some of the command issues and you saw some of the worries. Tanner Bibee is not really the same type of guy. It's a big pumping fastball. It's a devastating slider. The guy's got 3 to 4 pitches that he can go to at any time. He's a command pitcher around the zone. It's a very different type of pitcher. And I think this is the guy that's a little bit more exciting for sustainability long-term in the Guardians rotation if they decide to, because guess what? 3 rookies this team has put up into the rotation, and it's not even May. That's wild. Tanner Bibee, though, in my mind, would be the number one of these guys to try to stick around, but we will see later today.
Yeah, 30% rostered right now. I just did the waiver wire video that should drop sometime tomorrow, and I don't really care what happens today. I still want to add him, and I want to, if I can stash him on my roster, I want to stash him because I want to learn the lesson from the Taj Bradley thing, which is if a kid comes up and he's got a high pedigree, and you already know that the team is looking at him for starts, well, it's only April. So whether he's good or bad, indifferent, it doesn't matter. Opportunities might present themselves as it goes. So you might as well try to get them now. Speaking of which, I know a lot of people are up in arms about Bradley being sent down. This is not a big deal, folks. This is like a procedural thing, trying to get him on this 5-day schedule, or whatever. So I don't even think they're not even going to, he's not going to report to AAA. He's just designated or whatever for AAA because they want to make roster space because, well, they're the Rays. This is
they actually had an actual roster move to make. Jose Siri got activated, and I think this is something where it's like they can use the excuse of the. I don't know what. Like, I would love to know. Explain to me what you have to do to adjust from 6 to 5 days. I don't know. Like, what algorithm do they have to rerun? That's
B12.
called sitting.
Like, I don't know.
That's called sitting one extra day. I don't know what the process is in that, but I think they just had an excuse because Siri was coming out. They could option him. They could take the next couple days. He wasn't going to be a bullpen arm, and then they could just kind of figure it out. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be back in the rotation, and people are losing their mind. Just hold on to your Taj Bradleys.
Just relax, everybody. Relax. Nice deep breaths here. And you know, it's funny that I actually think it's telling that they're so willy-nilly with their options on him already. To me, that's a big signal of, yeah, this kid's in our rotation for the rest of the season, to me. Because, you know, usually you don't want to like burn all these options that the kids have when they're young, especially for a small procedural move like this. This is kind of like, yeah, all right, he's going to stick around. So let's just kind of use him now, continue to try to build this lead in the East as things continue on. So a lot of things going on there. Let's talk about Brady Singer, if we can, for a moment here. His best start of the year, which, again, the bar was very low. It was like James Cameron low. But 5 strikeouts, 6 innings, 1 run baseball. Is Brady Singer back?
No, maybe. Like, Brady Singer was in cut range. If you wanted to move on from Brady Singer, you could. Even after that start, here's a couple things for you. After that awesome start, he still is in the worst percentile of hard hit percentage given up to hitters in the league. He's in the worst percentile of average EV. He's giving up the top 10 worst expected batting average, expected slug, and top 15% in xERA and barrel percentage. So he's still getting hit really, really hard. He found some of it in this game. I think he's at a space where he is a streamable guy. I actually wouldn't have thought that the Diamondbacks would have been the team that you would have streamed, especially with how, like, you know, dominantly left-handed they are and taking advantage of a right-hander here, but it just happened to work out. I just think he's a streamer. That's where I sit with Brady Singer. If you want to pick up and hold and see if it works out for the next couple starts, you can, but I don't have faith that this is going to continue long term.
Look, Singer was pretty decent last year. I mean, the thing is, decent on a bad team is, again, not exciting. So, I think it's an opportunity where if you want to get out from Singer, this is a good spot to. But I think you just gotta, go through, play the matchups with him, and hope that he can give you more starts like this and less of the other ones. Jaron Duran went 3 for 4 with a grand slam on Tuesday. He led the Red Sox in 8-6 a win over the Orioles. The Pirates spent some money. Welsh, Brian Reynolds and the Pirates 8-year, $106.7 million contract extension. I don't understand this. If you're the Pirates, I mean,
What do you mean?
get it. It's fun right now. Brian Reynolds is a nice player. This is not an absurd contract, I guess.
You think they're playing with Monopoly money? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I think if I have $100 million guaranteed to spend on a player for 8 years, there's ways to put that into a better player than Brian Reynolds. How about that?
I mean, that
because Pittsburgh doesn't exactly throw out $100 million contracts like the candy.
Yeah, but maybe this is the start. Maybe this is the start of locking
is this the overpay guy. Really?
Well, but like $100 million, in old Pirates terms is probably like locking down $60-70 million deals that they still wouldn't do. But like there has to be a point, unlike the A's, there has to be a point where a team looks to build some type of a winner. And the Pirates, much to my surprise, how good they've been. Ke'Bryan Hayes has underperformed. Talked about him in the trade video. O'Neal Cruz injury was, kind of a bummer, but the pitchers have been playing up. And Brian Reynolds has been the heart of that. I just never thought he would re-sign with this team. I thought it was also about winning. It was just about money. He just wanted to get paid. It wasn't about leaving this team.
Look, in all fairness, a guaranteed $100 million is a lot of money for anybody, especially for Brian Reynolds, who's been a nice player, who has had some nice seasons. So again, I get what you're saying. We even mentioned it just a couple days ago, the Jason Worth overpay, right? You do that to start bringing people in, but I don't know if Brian Reynolds is the guy that really is going to bring.
I just don't know if it's an overpay. That's the only thing I'm pointing out. Like I don't
think it's an overpay, but $100 million commitment to Brian Reynolds is a lot of money for a team that doesn't commit a lot of money to a lot of people, unless this is the beginning of them starting to do that with some other players that they have. It sucks that Cruz is hurt right now.
Yeah.
Because if Cruz was playing well and then they coupled this with a Cruz signing from one of those Wander Franco-ish kind of deals or something like that, not quite that, length or dollar amount, but then we could really see something here. Here's one from Casey White. Carlos Correa is doggy duty. There you go. That's pretty accurate. What should I do with him in a 10-man league? Welsh, what do you do with Correa in a 10-man?
In a 10-man? Boy, he might be easily movable in a 10-man league. Though we've talked about how like shortstops are just kind of like blah, like we've lost the depth of the position. If there's some good bats out there, I also am kind of trying to sit here and think like, what place are you playing? And if you're playing in Yahoo, there might be a couple more shortstops that are going to be eligible and pushed down. But at the end of the day, in a 10-man league, I think you have a lot of flexibility to move on, even if it was a bat that was taken, kind of high-ish. He's gonna rebound, so you just need to know that he's gonna rebound at some point. But what is that rebound with Carlos Correa every year? 20 homers, 80 runs, 85 RBI, hits 270. That's what you're going to get when he rebounds. So if there's someone else on the wire in a 10-man that can fill some categorical stuff like stolen bases, yeah, sure. I think he's cuttable.
All right. Let's continue on with some of the other news. Brenton Doyle 3 for 4 with a ribby 2 stolen bases in the Rockies win over the Guardians yesterday. So again, a lot of these young players. Also, Michael Busch is going to be temporary because Max Muncy is on the paternity list, but this is a guy who's been red hot, Michael Busch, over at AAA. 337, 461, 967 with 2 homers. With some of the struggles of Vargas, do you think there's any chance that Busch is one of these guys you kind of sneak through and maybe sticks around longer than you realize?
How this season has gone with rookies, I don't want to be definitive. I'm not going to be on here and be the person that's like, this can never happen, because anything can happen, and it is happening this year. But I would say I think it's a really tough one. Vargas, even though he's struggling hitting, he's still getting on base. He's walking. He's kind of, providing what they at least serviceable want on the bottom of the lineup. And you don't want to hurt him too much. And he's been suffering from that injury. And then elsewhere, you're just like, where else does he play? There is no other spot. Major injury, I think Michael Busch is the next guy because he's flexible. He can move around and play first. He could play second, kind of like a Max Muncy type. He's cut his strikeout percentage this year, which has been good. I'm a big fan of Michael Busch, but like a lot of those Dodgers prospects, sometimes it's like, he would be great somewhere else if he had playing time. I just don't see long-term playing time unless there's like an injury.
That is fair. I don't either, but I think in those deeper leagues, maybe add him for a buck and just kind of see what happens there. By the way, Serviceable Want was also the title of Mike Mayer's first romance novel that he wrote back in the late 90s. So you might want to check that out. I believe you can get it You can get it on Amazon, I believe. All right, here's the injury roundup for you. Michael Harris is going to begin a minor league rehab assignment in AAA on Wednesday. Hooray, that's good. Also, Travis d'Arnaud slowly working his way back too. You should get him back shortly. So if he's floating on the waiver wire somehow, and you didn't pick up Heim last week for Hoppy, well, maybe d'Arnaud's another guy. Luis Ariz remains out of the Marlins lineup yesterday, so we'll keep an eye on that. So JD Martinez was also out yesterday with the back issue. Old people have back issues. What do you want from me, folks? This is what happens when you get old. Tony Gonsolin makes his debut against the Pirates today. What are your expectations? He's been pretty good so far in the minor leagues. Are you excited about this start here? I know he's going against Oviedo, everybody's really excited about the Oviedo these days. So people are rooting against Gonsolin, I feel like.
No, Oviedo went yesterday. No, Oviedo
was yesterday. That's right.
Yeah, it's Contreras. It's Roansy.
It's
Contreras.
Roansy. I'm sorry. I confused my young Pirate pitchers there for a second. It was Roansy.
Yeah.
My apologies to everyone.
Both equally kind of exciting. I'm a little tempered about it. I watched the last rehab start. He went like 3 innings. He got really pitchy in the innings where it was just a lot of pitches here, things getting fouled off.
I thought you meant like vocally. He didn't sound as good.
Yeah, it's pitch perfect. He's in the pitch perfect. Yeah. Him and Anna Kendrick got a little pitchy. I don't know if it's going to, because the Pirates have been doing a good job of like not striking out a whole bunch. Key Brian Hayes is a great table setter in there. They can sneak some hits in. I don't know. I'm going to say this and he's going to go 6 and be perfect. But I don't know if Gonsolin is going to have the bullets to get like out of the 5th inning in this one. So this is probably, even though I know it's Pirates, there's probably one like if you're trying to save some of your starts and stuff, I don't know if I'm going to be putting him out there. I'm just worried the innings they're going to stack up on him a little bit.
Here's one from Thomas Helms. Thoughts on Manny Machado's slow start? Will he bounce back? Is he worth pursuing in a trade when his value is low? The answer is yes. I know it's 213 right now. 1 homer, 1 steal. The OPS, well, she's at 527. That is horrendous. But to me, this is your window to buy Manny Machado. He didn't all of a sudden is not a good player anymore. So, I mean, these windows on superstars are really small typically. I'd be all over this if you can get Machado right now.
Yep, this one I'm probably not going to even you don't even need to look. You don't even look at stats and stuff like that. I don't care. I want Manny Machado. He'll get going. It's been definitely it feels like a slower start than usual, but he will get going. That offense will get going at some point. It's not. I'm buying any low sells of Manny Machado, and I have been seeing them. I got a couple different tweets about people being able to make trades on Manny Machado. One was like, it's like Dansby Swanson and something to get Machado and Lodolo. And I know got Lodolo in the trade video yesterday. I kind of said this could be the possibility that's happening, but the stuff is still there. He's just not throwing that curveball and not getting the whiffs on the curveball that he needs to. More 4-seam fastball. I was talking about that with Eno Saris. So he got both of those guys for whatever pitcher in Swan. And that's that's a smashing deal. Absolutely. Go and get Manny Machado at super low cost right now.
It's tricky because third base is a tough position. So dealing from a position of strength there, it's kind of hard. I mean, you want to put Max Muncy with his 11 home runs and something else in there for Machado, maybe. You want to put
I'm surprised people are doing that. I'm actually surprised people are moving off of their Machados right now.
Well, I mean, I think by the time you get a month into the season, people start to panic a little bit on players that they spent 1st and 2nd round draft capital. And I don't think that's a bad reason to panic. It's more of a reason to understand that when you look at the end of the year, is he going to be around 30 and 100? Of course he is. So where's the hot streak coming? It's coming at some point. So you got to be on that. More injury news too. Cody Bellinger on the paternity list. Again, not injury, but Yordan Alvarez is absent in the lineup yesterday for the Astros.
Only a dad, by the way, would say that that's an injury news is paternity leave. It's a dad thing of you.
Here's a fun tweet from Brian Hawk. The Twins have won their first series over the Yankees since 2001. So Joe Ryan went out there and threw another gem yesterday. Entering the season, the Twins had lost 16 of their previous 19 games versus the Yankees, including the postseason. That's pretty unbelievable. Joe Ryan has been a huge, piece for the Twins this year, but the Minnesota Twins, despite Correa being, as Casey put it earlier in the show, doggy do, despite Byron Buxton being pretty much the pooper scooper, the Twins somehow with this pitching, it's Sonny Gray, it's Pablo Lopez, it's Tyler Mahle, and it's Joe Ryan. And let me tell you, it's been great so far for them.
I actually think this is one of the scariest teams because it's almost across the board outside of stupid Joey Gallo. That whole offense has struggled. All the pieces, Miranda has struggled. They've had the injuries and rookies coming up and all that. Yeah. While that bullpen has been phenomenal. And I think that's such a good sign for the future for a team to buy in on. Also, there's a great video of some reporter telling Byron Buxton about this stat and his face kind of lighting up like he had no idea it had been that long since they won a series against the Yankees. And I don't know. I still like Buxton. I hope he picks it back up. He was smashing insane homer the other day. He just needs to do that, consistently.
Yeah. All right. Corbin Carroll, one of the 3 ups yesterday, 3 for 4 with a triple, a double, 2 stolen bases. Ooh, he looks good. So it's still Outman at the top of that board for rookie of the year, but Corbin Carroll still.
Oh, is Outman at the top? Did you look at the odds? I forgot.
No, Outman's at the top right now. They're close, but Outman's at the top right now.
What are so good. Did you see what Carroll's number was?
They're like plus 300, plus 400. They're in
God, he never moves. I just want to point out, Carroll in this entire process since probably early March, he has not actually moved in his price. Everyone is moving.
I think I got him at plus 6 or 7 when that.
No, but you got him like a little bit earlier because I got him at like 380, 400. He just stays in that. Like Walker's gone up and down. Outman's. It's just like he's the rock, and everyone is moving around him. And it's the thing. If he continues to consistently hit and steal those bases at the end of the year, he will be able to separate from the pack.
I agree. Jose Barrios, believe it or not, had a good start. Of course, it was against the White Sox. So I had 2 upsets yesterday. I thought the White Sox could be one. I was wrong about that, but I was right about the Mets losing to Josiah Gray. So made some money there. Let's go, everybody. I feel really good about some of the bets today, though. And I see a lot of people have joined over at our bettingpros.com/leading-off group. So congratulations. And I feel really good today. Today got some good stuff there. So Barrios was a good start, but again, can it last? That's the question. We see the ups, the downs. I mean, Barrios is going to be good for a start, bad for 2, mediocre for 1, good for 1. Like he needs to go on a tear of 6 good starts in a row for me to feel good about him and investing in him. I just can't do it.
6 good starts for him to then fall apart. If he gets 6 really good starts in, I'm selling his ass. I am out on it. I mean, like I like Barrios. I want to be good. I think we all want to be good. But if he can string a bunch of starts up and he starts building confidence for people, that is 100% the time to get out because then people are buying. Because I don't care what he's doing. No one's buying Jose Barrios right now. Everyone's very just like, kind of scared. I don't know what to do.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, give me confidence and then give me something else.
Luis Garcia recorded 7 strikeouts over 6 shutout innings, so he's been solid for the Astros. Here's the downs from yesterday. Mike Clevenger, 5 innings, 6 earned, and a home run. Noah Syndergaard said, I can do worse. 4 innings, 7 earned, a 6.58 ERA. Boy, that experiment's been great. Remember when I said fade the Dodgers because their pitching isn't that good? Noah Syndergaard, Dustin May, these guys are going to throw 200 innings. Please. And then Kyle Bradish said, Noah Syndergaard, I will see you, and I will raise you 2 and a third innings, 7 earned runs, 4 walks. His ERA is at 6.3. So Kyle Bradish is certainly was one of the darlings, I would say, going into the season from a lot of, fantasy experts. A lot of people like the Kyle Bradish. Now, granted, it was a late investment. So again, you invest. It's bad.
I think everybody wants the Orioles. Like everybody, there's like a big love. Obviously, Alex Fast has his relationship with the Orioles, but like everybody like looks at them and they're like, "Oh, look at these values, and everything's going to be so fun."
Yeah, I mean, look at that.
And then,
who couldn't
next thing you know, it you get splatted in the face by the dong bong. So
by the dong bong, right in the face there. There you go. Let's continue on here. And it's time to make some prize picks on the show. We love making the prize picks. You should make some prize picks. Download the app or go to PrizePicks.com. Use that promo code leading off when you do and get 100% deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks is fun. I've got a fun one today for everybody, which is the under on Aaron Judge facing a lefty, 7.5 fantasy points.
Sir.
We talked about it on the show. This is the first under I've done because, in the words of Scott Bogman, life's too short for unders. But this one, I mean, the stats have bared this out for us here.
Told you.
I mean, the Judge has been bad, so he's going against the lefty today. 7.5 hitter score. I'm going the under on this. I'm going the over on Pete Alonso at the 7 hitter score against the Nats today. The Mets will hit off Mackenzie Gore today. And then Kodai Senga, 5.5 pitcher strikeouts. I like the over. Welsh, what are you picking on the prize picks?
All right, today I'm going to go with, I got a trend here, so this will obviously not work in anything that I do, but Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette is someone that I very much like today. Got a good 600 BVP versus Michael Kopech. I'm going to be going against those White Sox and a lot of things, and I like Bo Bichette to be getting some hits, and I went with the fantasy score of 7.5 over. Adley Rutschman back at it as well. I'm going with a fantasy score of 7 over, and just at least for the first inning, I'm going to go with Senga, McKenzie, Gore. No runs given up in that first inning. Their best stuff coming out in the first, and then it will taper out. So those are my 3 for the PrizePicks today.
All right. The chat's getting pretty funky over here. I just got to say, like, it's, definitely some fun things. Here's a fun one too. I want to get this in here before we get to the betting stuff, because this is a good one. Harold Ramirez was on my ad video, and he's still rostered in about 60% of leagues. I know he's been around the league for a couple of years. He certainly is off to an incredible start. He's hitting 370. He's got 5 homers. He's been really solid so far. Would you drop Jose Abreu for Harold Ramirez, or is it too early? This is from Fresh Couple. I think it's too early to do that move, but I don't think it's too early to bench Jose Abreu and start Harold Ramirez until Abreu comes around. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm too stubborn. Like Jose Abreu is hitting, but he's just not hitting for any power.
Well, he's getting up to the plate with a bat.
It's flatline
sense,
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, no, but I mean, I think he's hitting, I don't know about yesterday's game, but he was hitting like 250 going into yesterday. So the contact is starting to get there. BABIP is up. He just has no sense of being able to lift the ball, which is definitely worrisome. But I'm just not willing to give up on him as the Astros first baseman. But exactly what you said, if there's a way I can do it different, I could pick up Harold Ramirez, and then I could bench Abreu for a little bit. I do that. I'm probably really worrying about Abreu like 2 weeks if this still kind of continues. There's no homers in there. But as always, my caveat would be to anything, if there's great options, it changes the narrative. I don't know if Harold Ramirez is the great option that would take me off of Jose Abreu at this point, but great options can always, make some of these guys we're holding out for be cuttable.
Craig Johnson called me out. He's right. Maeda is a righty. I don't know why I was going there. I got so excited when I saw Maeda today in my head, and I don't know why I kept going left-handed pitching. Oh, Judge, let's go the under. So I'm going to redo the prize pick. Instead of the under on Judge, let's go the over.
Oh, you're going to go with the over now. I like that.
There you go. It's the over. So I'm keeping the same guy. Let's go though. I don't know why in my brain, this is what happens NFL draft week for everybody, just so you know. Like we're doing the live coverage tomorrow on FantasyPros. As we always do, it's going to be spectacular. But there's a lot going on in the brain of Joey.
No, but you know what though? I remember I did people can be so annoying about that stuff sometimes. I had that with
You're never allowed to make a mistake, Welsh.
No. Well, mistakes.
I appreciate Craig calling me out on it, and he's right, and I'm going to hold myself accountable. You're 100% right. And I'm going to just flip-flop it right there because 7's a low number for Judge. I think what happens, I saw the 7, and I went, oh, he must be going against the lefty. Oh, who's it? Oh, Maeda. Okay, and I'm just going to run through that, and I totally just spaced.
I did that with I remember doing that in a thing with Ricky Tiedemann, where I was like, oh, it reminds me of the left-handed Shane McClanahan. And I was like, wait, what? Because he is a left-handed. Yeah. He is. That's exactly what he is. So
that's all right. Let's get to some. Give you a pass. Well, I appreciate that. Let's get to some bets here. And let's stay with this Yankee game here. The Yankees are underdogs here against Kenta Maeda, which I think is wrong. I think this line is fishy. So I would go, you can get plus 110 and stuff on the Yankees. You can get plus 107 in some other spots. So choose accordingly. Yesterday hit one of these plus lines as well, but my favorite bet of the day is this same game parlay. Again, you know me, I'm not big on the parlays, but this is a really good one. Hunter Brown and the Houston Astros going against the Tampa Bay lineup that's been very good. Hunter Brown's been really good. 6+ strikeouts. You could tease this up. You put on FanDuel, you put the Astros on the money line, Hunter Brown 6+ strikeouts. You get 3-1 on that combination if you just want to go all in on that. And
I gotta tell you, I actually kind of dig that one. I kind of dig that one. I was looking at it, I was like, how the hell did you get plus 300? That might be. I've been saying the last couple of days I've liked some of yours and I haven't bet on them. I think I'm going to bet on this one when the show is over. I'm gonna put down on that one, Joe. So
yes, and Casey, I'm sorry that you hit on the under on the Aaron Judge immediately.
I still think Casey's hitting. I still think Casey's hitting here. Every time I bet on Judge.
You know what? You're right.
Garbage.
Casey, don't worry. It's probably right considering how that's gone so far. Welsh, what do you have in the betting market today? And Casey, if you want to make it up, go in there to that same game, Houston Astros, Hunter Brown, go make some money there on that one. Welsh, what do you have in the betting market today?
This is a weird one. I made this bet and then DraftKings was telling me that I couldn't do it because the game had already started, but it hasn't started. So I'm going to just throw this out that I did make this bet. I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys. The total bases have been brutal for me. I'm just taking one a day. I'm going to focus on one a day, but I have been brutal on total bases for whatever reason. But Where I'm going today is because of the juice. And on the site that I play on, I got plus 135 for Adley Rutschman, total bases 1.5. So I like Bo Bichette, but he's not even money. He's minus money today. So that's why I didn't want to take it on a total base. So that's my total base play. One of my favorite plays. I have been pretty decent in the first 5 market, whether it's like, the run line or team total runs. Yesterday I had a 2-unit play on the Rangers team total first 5 that cashed. So today I'm going back to the team totals, and I'm going Toronto team total runs 2.5 over through the first 5. I know that sounds convoluted, but in the first 5 innings, it's Toronto to score 3 or more runs against Kopech, and I'm making that. It's minus 140, so I'm putting 2 units on it. And then finally, the K market I think is super black today. I want to bet on Tanner Bybee, but I can't find a prop for it. So Sandy Alcantara 5.5 strikeouts over, and Drew Smiley 4.5 strikeouts over. I'm going to pair those together, and I'm going to get a little over 2-1 on my money. And those are the early bets I have.
You'll have Bybee stuff later. It'll happen eventually. You just have to keep an eye on the board.
Yeah, well, they do that. They'll do that plenty with these rookie pitchers the first time out.
And you'll get live stuff on him too, depending on how that first inning goes as well. Here's a good question from Anthony XC7. Is Outman keeping this up, or should I sell? And if so, who for? Let me just put this in perspective for you guys right now, because I was just kind of looking at the fantasy points leaders. Of course, Ronald Acuña's at the top. Max Muncy is second right now, and his slugging is 718. I mean, that's a big giant red flag that obviously that's going to come crushing down at some point. James Outman is at slugging percentage right now of 709. He's been tremendous. I think Outman's one of these guys I don't sell. You got him late, so he's worth more to you than somebody else. And so if you're putting him in a trade for Manny Machado in a redraft league, then okay. But that's the only kind of if you can somehow package him with somebody else and get one of those premium annual big time fantasy players. Otherwise, you hold on, because Outman is a guy that you got towards the end of a draft, and he's crushing life for you. And I think he's still going to be a pretty good player. He's not going to be a guy who hits 700 in the slugging department all year. Walsh, what are your thoughts here on Outman? Because to me, this is another one of those guys who's more valuable to you if you drafted him late than he is to somebody else necessarily in a trade.
Yeah, something like that. I think how you said it's probably good. Like the blanket statement, should I sell Outman? I mean, I'd look if someone wants to pay. Like, I actually think what Outman's doing is super impressive. I think he's got a legit shot to be a 2020 player this year. I think he's going to go through some bigger swings. He's hitting the ball like crazy right now, but I think he's going to get attacked differently in the coming months. So if someone wants to really pay up for Outman because they believe, sure. But if someone's like, he's playing kind of cool, he could be my 5th outfielder, and they want to trade even value, I'd rather hold on. I'd rather see if it works out than 5th even value trading for Outman, because he's been one of the best bats. So it's a little bit of a different way to kind of agree with you to say he's probably more valuable to you than he is on the trade market, but it only takes one person to make it run,
Speaking of value, MLB is here, and So Rare MLB is here for you to play. So go to fantasypros.com/collect and see how good you can be managing the value of all of these fantasy assets. Officially licensed digital cards from all 30 major league teams. You get your packs, you open them, you assemble your teams together, and then you play against other people. So they're scouting, buying, selling, and competing with other people against your knowledge of the game and their knowledge of the game with these digital cards. So go to fantasypros.com/collect to check it out. Welsh has done a few videos here on our channel at Fantasy Pros MLB if you want to know more about So Rare, but we appreciate you going to check it out because you're one of our sponsors here on the program as well. Let's talk about the DFS picks for the day. Again, Hunter Brown and Murray in. So let's go again. Senga's more expensive by $1,000 on FanDuel. So I'd rather have Hunter Brown. I know it's against the Rays, and people say, well, the Rays have been so good, but the Rays can't win every single day. Here's another one that's fascinating. Sandy Alcantara is 9.8 today on FanDuel. Bryce Elder is 10.9. Welsh, do you take the Sandy discount off the biceps issue and go against the rookie Elder? Because this is a fascinating versus that you don't see very often, where I can't even fathom a world where Sandy is not the most expensive pitcher, let alone much cheaper than a guy he's going against who's a rookie who's got just a handful of starts under his belt.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the attack against that Marlins offense makes a lot of sense. I like Sandy. I like Sandy today. I like him to rebound. Obviously,
Mhm.
it's a tougher lineup, but I just don't see Sandy struggling for start after start after start or anything like that. I like this to be kind of a rebound game for him. That's why I picked the K prop. Honestly, now that I'm kind of thinking this through, I might relook. That might be something I end up taking the first 5 under runs to be scored.
That's a good one.
That game's at
That's a good one.
8, so I'm going to guess it's going to be 4.5 runs is going to be the first 5. I might take the under on that through the first 5 against that, Elder against that horrid offense with the Marlins, and then obviously Sandy bouncing back.
Stacks today. Look for the Mets offense, the Houston offense, unless Alvarez isn't in today. Again, keep an eye on that. Seattle's offense as well. Teoscar is getting real hot. Some value plays. AJ Pollock in that Seattle lineup, 2.5. Jose Abreu, again, 2.5. He's cheap in the middle of that order. Like Welsh is saying, maybe he starts to hit a little bit. If he does hit, the roster percentage is super low on Abreu. So if he has a big game, like he has a home run, it's going to be one that carries you over pay lines. Mitch Haniger, 2.8, and Brendan Drury, 2.6. Home run calls of the day. For me, Welsh, I am going with Pete Alonso, the polar bear. Where are you going for your home run call today?
Well, much to the chagrin of any Blue Jays fan today, is the chat is. I sure am loving, and I'm watching, and I'm keeping notes on all the people that
I
keep
saw one
mushing me,
person say, "Oh, good, I got no Adley Rutschman shares."
Yep, I'm making markers for all you people. Just gonna remember. But Bo Bichette, we're gonna go with Bo Bichette. So expect him to go 0 for 4. But I'm gonna go with that for the home run call today. Thought about Vlad, thought about Springer. They probably hit it. But I'm locked into Bo Bichette today for a homer at some point. I don't know if it'll ever happen.
You almost became Bill Cosby for a second there. We
Well,
can't do Bill
it'll
Cosby
get
voice
the
anymore. I don't
homers.
think we're allowed. I don't know if we're allowed to do that voice anymore. Are we allowed? What's the statute of limitations on still being able to do that voice? I don't know.
You can do the voice. Do the voice. I bet you do. For some reason, I feel like you do a fantasy.
Oh, I do. I do the voice.
Let's hear it.
Let's look at the home run board to see the people making the home runs and the picks and the picking of the home runs. BHB Daddy which is funny. BHB Daddy does sound like something Bill Cosby would put in someone's drink. Is at 11. Callison at 29. At 10 home runs, and then prime time 897 at 10-2. And of course, usual suspects up there as well. Sir Sizz up there with 9. I don't remember seeing that name, so I don't know if that's a new one. Sir Sizz. By the way, everybody, don't forget to download my playbook and utilize the tools here, Fantasy Pros. If you had a rough start, especially to the season, please use the tools here. They're free. Go download the app and help manage your lineups, manage your waiver assistant. Look at some of these trades. You're asking about what the value is of certain guys right now. That's what it's there for. So use the tools of Fantasy Pros to help pull you out of the basement if you are there already, if things have just gone against the grain. And don't forget to leave a comment below because you could win a free 1-year premium upgrade to Fantasy Pros. And if you don't want to, wait for that, you can always go to fantasypros.com/premium to upgrade today. Welsh, I know we've got a lot of baseball going on. I know it's a big football time too these next few days. As you can see, my brain is getting a little overloaded. I'm gonna have to replug myself back in and reboot. I'm sure at some point later this afternoon.
It's like my internet,
like Welsh's internet. That's how
the chat is killing me. By the way, the chat has been killing me today.
What do we have from
it's a very funny chat today. If you guys don't watch the live stream, you really should give it an opportunity. Especially, my main advice to everybody is listen. Work is work. Work comes around every day, but how often does this come around? Also every day. So make it a part of
every day.
Every day. But just skip work for 30 minutes and watch with us, hang out, and be funny.
Yeah.
Don't be mean, but be funny in the chat.
I love when people also show up for the first time in the chat too and watch us live. And we appreciate everybody who subscribed to the channel. I saw somebody who also asked about the wig situation where we're at. Well, we're at 13.1 subscribers. When we get to 15, we get the week of wigs. I don't know if we're gonna get there, but y'all have to go share the show and subscribe. We did get to 13, so Welsh says I should do a show as Mario. I will look after the draft into Mario hats on Amazon and see what we can make work there. I think.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if we could just get maybe the Fantasy Pros uppers to send us both, I'll take the Luigi hat, you take the Mario hat. We'll put it in, and we'll do that, and I'll be like
Fantasy Pros uppers. That's what I take right before I do the draft for 4 hours.
Yeah, the Super Mario Pros. That's what we'll be.
There we go. On that note, that'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy the baseball. Go, baby.